The story of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy all started here. They were about to watch a movie and have some popcorn. Then suddenly a radioactive ant starts to crawls from the ceiling and bit Mermaid Man on the head. He screams in pain, stumbling backwards. Then suddenly Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy found themselves falling out of the window and into a vat of acid, and that got toppled over by an alien spaceship, and he starts surfing on the acid during a solar eclipse on a leap year. Then they found themselves in a bomb testing site and... Wait, was I going off topic? Oh, sorry about that. Hi everybody, this is Black Rhino Ranger. So I hope today you're all feeling very lively and very jumpy today, because today is February 29th, aka a leap year. So everybody, and because it's a leap year, I thought today everybody starts leaping. And I'll show you what I mean. Here's an example of, you see here, this character, he's leaping. And now for this occasion, I want people to ask me a super simple requests, because for one, there are 29 of these I want to try and do because of the number 29, and two, forgive me, but if I sound a little sleepy, it's very late for me, but because it took me some time to get this thing organized. So forgive me if I'm yawning a little bit. So okay, without further ado, what's your first request? Sorry if the super chat is still off at the moment. I still haven't finished the previous requests. Sorry about that. I'll get to it as soon as I can. If you have nothing to request, just ask me any question. So, let's see. Oh, I remember that show. I remember watching it as a kid. Wasn't that that little round, something round, I remember. Okay, let's see what we got. Wait, let me just expand his head for a minute. Yeah, one of the early CGIs at its finest. And I think it was my. I'm not sure if this was my introduction to the I'm not sure this was my introduction to the concept of having a house, having everything in your house basically watching you. Who? It's how do I say this? It's something Pee-wee's Playhouse has, and I think I was introduced to something like that through Roly Poly Oly. Yeah, I think it's a little too In fact, I think I remember watching the show, and it was one of the most. I think it was one of the. I remember some plots where there was one episode where the dog broke the mother's prize trophy. So the dad, I've forgotten the names. The dad creates a button. It's called the rewind, where you flick the switch and everything is in reverse. It literally just reversed the entire footage of what we just saw, and then suddenly the thing I'm sorry. That episode is still funny to me. I mean the one where when Oli was finished with his chores, suddenly a ball bounces on the rewind, and then he messes everything back when he messes things up again. And then it was malfunctioning so much that when it presses forward, everything is sped up, including the intro. I'm so sorry. It's just I can't believe I can still remember that episode. I haven't seen that show in about over 20 years, and I can still remember how funny that episode was to me. I'm sorry if I'm sounding like a giggling moron. I'm sorry. I mean, it's a preschool show. How come I still find it funny as an adult? Then again, I know a lot of people. Then again, I know some grown-ups still like. There are some grown-ups who still like a bit of preschool in their life. Okay, anyways, what was I? I'm not sure if I can do. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I can do Quick Strike because he's a bit complex. Let's say. Yeah, the Beast Wars. Unfortunately, I have to postpone for another day. Okay. I grew up with Pokemon, Franklin, and Ping Pong. Oops, that did not come out right. There we go, fellas. We got Roly Poly Oly. And yep, he's bouncing. Okay, who's next? Who's got this pose? I mean, I forgot to name the first pose. The first pose I think was jumping and reaching for something. Well, this one I think is something Tigger would do. But which other character do you think would do this pose? Maybe like a starfish or something. I'm not sure if I can do Incredibots. It takes me time to remember what the character. Okay. Hello. Sorry I'm late. Don't worry. It's little Where is he? Wait, I need to know what I look like, because one of the most distinctive things about Mr. Krabs is that his highlights are quite unique. Yeah, no, really. The thing with the highlights is that unlike the traditional type of highlights, where it's usually like a circle or something, his is like his highlights are like cut in half. You see, let's say I can do a Krabs impression. Well, go on, me boy, do an impression. I'd like to see you do a video recording of that. I think, I don't know if anybody noticed this, but when Mr. Krabs' laugh, I think it may have been based on Popeye. You know how Popeye usually laughs? He goes, Unfortunately, recently a lot of people are starting to say that SpongeBob is once again going down the toilet. Yeah, there's been some recent episodes like Fun Believable where it's basically just random nonsense. I have I a lot of people say SpongeBob is starting to become the Patrick Star show, a show where basically it's just random nonsense. Now I still love SpongeBob, and if I do have a chance, I may come back to rewatch check out some of any of the later ones to see if sometimes I just want to turn off my brain. I think SpongeBob nowadays is basically just a turn off your brain type of show. Oh. But I am aware that some people are missing the days when SpongeBob is had a bit more logical structure. Heck, even some of the worst seasons of SpongeBob, like season 6 or season 8, they at least had somewhat of a plot, including some of the more infamous ones, which I won't mention because I want to make sure my chat does not kill me or start spouting out some angry comments. We are in post-Hillenburg. Technically it was a second post-Hillenburg. The first post-Hillenburg was season 4 to 9A when Hillenburg temporarily left, but still remained as a creative consultant. And he just never really popped into the studio. Oh, and that is until after the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water, when he temporarily made a comeback. But unfortunately, the thing that he had that Stephen Hawking had, it took away not only his job, but also his life. May he rest in peace. And then we have and now we're in the second post-Hillenburg era. Wait, there's something missing. There he is. There we go, lads. I hope I win the Bugs Cuts petition. Why? For money. Who's doing the kung fu pose? Like everybody is kung fu fighting. And yes, people, I am excited to check out the 4th installment of our chubby kung fu fighting panda. Yeah. Again, fellas, if you've got nothing to request, just ask me any question, and I'll try and respond to it as much as possible. Oh. Have you heard about the Danny Phantom comics? Are they recent or are they in the past? Like during Danny Phantom's day? Are they recent or just a few years ago, or are they during the time of when Danny Phantom was still airing? During the time? Like I said, okay. I have not read any of them, let's say. I have not read a single Danny Phantom comic book. I don't even own that many Nickelodeon merchandise except a couple of SpongeBob books and a lot of Loud House comics. I do own a couple of Fairly Odd Parents books. They were present from my sister after she was doing I think she was doing an I'm not sure what it was. I think she was just ordering some stuff. It was a school assignment back when I was a kid. Don't know what I. Let's see. I have two Zim comics. What's your favorite Lynn Loud episode? That's a tough one, since Lynn is not exactly one of my most favorite of the Loud sisters. I'll still draw her. But what's my favorite episode from her? That is a good question. Maybe it's okay, maybe it's Sitting Bull, though. I think it's the one where Lenny, Lori, Lu. I think it's Sitting Bull, the one where Lenny, Lori, Luna, and Luann, they've all gotten babysitter jobs, and then Lynn wanted to volunteer to babysit, but as she tried to, they think maybe she's not great material. Oh, she at one point she asked she enforced the young ones to drink raw eggs. Of course, my least favorite from her is the one of No Such Luck, the one with those superstitions, causing Lincoln to be kicked out. If only there was a follow-up episode where Lynn Jr. gets her comeuppance. Oh, but another favorite of mine is when what are my thoughts on the word dang it? Dang it. It's fine. You can say it as much as you want. It's not really a swear. Dang it. I'd be more surprised if they actually slip in an actual swear word. At least they didn't say the other D word, unlike, say, Transformers the movie. And Ultra Magnus, he's like, open. Damn it, open! Here's Lane with the kick. Okay, so for this pose, I don't know why, it kind of stuck in my head, but it reminds me of the time somebody once requested me a Mickey, Donald, and Goofy the Three Musketeers posting, that turtle guy thing. And that guy kept asking me to keep drawing the same pose over and over and over. And for some reason, it kind of got stuck in my head. And I don't know why. Maybe I was not thinking straight, but who wants the same character in that pose? I still hold bad memories with it. Okay, I'll include something. I don't, Should I do a preschool themed live stream? Okay, maybe I'm not sure if I should, because even though a lot of my folks here like a lot of preschool stuff, I'm not sure if the YouTube algorithm will allow this. They might think of it as, oh, it's preschool, let's label it for kids. And I could get in trouble in case I accidentally swear or say a bad word or have a characters do something bad that's not really kid-friendly in there. Here, I'm just warning you about that. Even though I am tempted to do Sesame Street or some other shows I used to watch, like Roly Poly Oly. I'm not sure if I can because I'm worried of if YouTube would see this and like, yeah, you're talking about a preschool show. Let's have it made for kids. Oh dear, I'm just a little worried about that. But if it's YouTube is not for kids, it's for everyone. I agree. The only ones I think I can get away with are perhaps the Muppets and Bear in the Big Blue House, because funny enough, they once made if you remember one of the bloopers of Bear in the Big Blue House, don't show that to your kids. It's oh dear, it is not safe for work, let's say. Oh dear. Language tutor. Bear's face says it all. I want a Muppets livestream. Kappa is awful. Agreed. I totally agree. You do get away with and you have live stream for kids. Now the reason why I can get away with something like Timmy Time, I think another example I can get away with is probably Timmy Time because for one, he's part of Wallace and Timmy Time is part of Wallace and Gromit, which is something that can be enjoyed for everyone, and I have done an Aardman themed live stream before, and I got out fine. And besides, it's part of a different live stream. It's not the main focus. The preschool part is not the main focus, but the character is part of the requests. Anyways, what's next? I did do a PBS Kids Request Challenge, and however, oh, okay. Maybe I can have a better shot at it as a request challenge. The Sesame Street part. I mean, that's a show that it's definitely for preschoolers, but I can think of a bajillion ideas for that. Not very snake-like if you think. The more you think about it. His opinion on Kappa. Season. That's a new. It's very weird. Ooh, that one looks better. So I'm just looking up as many different characters and see if any of them fit. And I mean, it's great that you guys have given me some simple ideas for requests, but sometimes I have to choose the ones that really fit. May I ask you fellas, how many of you were introduced to the Pink Panther to the cartoons, and how many of you were introduced to Pink Panther to the live-action movies when the Pink Panther was seen as a diamond rather than the cartoon character? Yeah. Because for me, I was actually introduced to the Pink Panther to, I think it was called The Pink Panther Strikes Again. My mom showed me a movie clip of the Pink Panther who strikes again, and the intro, it's the one where the Inspector Clouseau goes into a movie theater and Pink Panther starts reenacting, parodying many different movies at the time, like Batman, The Sound of Music, Singing in the Rain, something out of Charlie Chaplin even. See, have you seen the animated series called Samurai Jack? I have watched a bit of it as a kid. I didn't see a ton of it, The ones I did remember seeing as a kid are the ones where Samurai Jack goes to his old childhood home, and the other one I remember seeing is the other two I remember watching is when he gets a meeting from this group of gangsters who are basically parodies of the Anthill mob from Wacky Races or the Perils of Penelope Pitstop. And there's another episode where he meets this big hairy guy who meets these ape-like beings, and he basically teaches him how to jump good. And it ends with Aku surprised that he can fly. No, jump good. And that's how it ends, just like that. We don't see this was never continued afterwards. But now we have a new season, and I heard a lot of people aren't too fond of the final season. They say the video game was better. But then the next episode, it was all for nothing. Yep. Why can't men be more like animals? Yeah, who's all crouched up? Who's all crouched up? I think I can manage this guy. Wait, I think I need to shrink his head a little bit. Just there. You see, do you watch Transformers Prime? That Unicron much more scary. Oh, yes, I did remember watching Transformers Prime. Well, I do like that. I do like that show, but admittedly, I'm still more of a Generation 1 Beast Wars and animated person. Prime, I would probably put at number 4. It's neat to see Optimus Peter Cullen returning as Optimus again in the TV series. He's after his involvement as Prime in the movies, and nice to hear Frank Welker back as Megatron on TV again. And before he was just doing for some regular side projects like video games or other mini movies. Frank Welker was supposed to return as Megatron in the first of Michael Bay's Transformers films, but Michael Bay then decided on Hugo Weaving. Now, Hugo Weaving, he said he did not enjoy being the voice of Megatron in the live-action films. He said it felt empty. And I think because of that, he refused to work in Transformers. So they brought back Frank Welker for Age of Extinction and The Last Night. Surprisingly, he never returned in any of the on many of the more recent ones. He didn't come back in Bumblebee, and he didn't come back in Bumblebee, and he didn't come back in Rise of the Beasts. Perhaps folks who are making the Transformers movies, those Transformers movies, they wanted to experiment a bit more with other types of Transformers, like bring in some new threats. For example, I kind of forgot the names of those two Decepticon and Transformers. The ones who are cars, and I think they were helicopters or jets. They were triple changers. I know the one who ripped off Bumblebee's spark. That was Blitzwing. Let's see. Well, how do you feel about Coyote versus Acme being written off? Yeah, I think it's a bit of a dumb move for David Zaslav to remove that movie and have it not released at all. Have it just shelved and perhaps deleted as a text write-off. But many people, even if it wasn't good, I think it's important to have a finished product be released as soon as possible. Because all your hard work, all those people who have been involved in it, they should get some recognition. So yes, sometimes it may not be a good recognition. Sometimes it can be labeled as terrible. But at the very least, it is something somebody put their sweat into it. Yeah, you have to acknowledge that this thing exists and people should know about it. Even the voice of Bugs and Daffy, he's called them out. Eric Bowser, he says, "Release the Coyote versus Acme." And okay, let's see. It looks like the Fonzie pause. I think it's more like that do the flop guy. Anyways, what was I? Yes, it's but a lot of people, because of the way he spoke out against David Zaslav and the decision to shelve Coyote versus Acme, many people are saying he should be our president. He should be our new CEO. I think he would be perfect. Fellas, I have to say this. Even if you like, if you think Eric Bowser can be considered a better better CEO than David, you have to remember he is just a voice actor. And does he want the responsibility of taking over a big company, especially as big as Warner Brothers? I mean, does he have the qualifications to be a CEO? Does he want the job? And I heard that if you're a CEO of a company, your other type of job is quite limiting. Like you won't be able to do any a ton of acting. And remember, his profession is of course voice acting. And he doesn't just work for Warner Brothers. He also works for Nickelodeon and also works for Disney. I heard he was recently in KIF. And I also remember him in a few Nickelodeon projects, in some of them of which I'm not one of my favorites, but I do acknowledge that he has done them. I mean, when Walt Disney was in Walt Disney's early days, he did temporarily voice Mickey Mouse, but that was because, and he did still run the Walt Disney Company, but that was because that was when Walt Disney was just a small company. When it got bigger and there were more projects being made, like the packaged films, like Ichabod and Mr. Toad and the upcoming Cinderella, he was too busy to do any more voices for Mickey. So he had to be replaced by one of his sound effects artists. before we eventually got the one we know today, we know as Wayne Allwyn before his passing, and currently Brett Irwin and Chris something. I don't know how to pronounce his name properly, but the same guy who also played Master Rion in Skylanders Academy, let's say. Remember, even if you think the person is a better job for the better CEO than David Zaslav, best do some research on how a CEO works. Heck, there was even a Looney Tunes episode where Daffy was a CEO, but then the marketing man says, "Sir, the marketing has been turned. Should we delay the merger or proceed as planned?" Daffy has no idea what to do, so he brings out a random guy who's in charge of the muffin cart, and then he says, "Proceed as planned." But it turns out it wasn't the muffin. He wasn't really the muffin man. He was just holding the muffin man's cart while the Muffin Man was in the bathroom. And when the Muffin Man looks at the chart, he's like, "Ooh, I would have delayed the merger if I were you." "Yep, me too," says Bugs Bunny. And then the news says, thousands of jobs have been lost, and disgraced CEO now hides himself." Okay, that's it. Okay, the original request, but next up is number 8. Yeah, what's with this guy? He's all fidgety and stuff. I might be a fidgety pose, like he's all fidgeting and stuff like that. Wait, which Spider-Man? Which Spider-Man are you talking about? Are you talking about Peter Parker or Miles Morales? There's like 2 different Spider-Mans now, and I want to know which one you're talking about. Ah, yes. Imagine, fellas, imagine if can you actually imagine if any film you like, absolutely any film that you do like, gets the same treatment as Coyote versus Acme? If any of the released films made today, try imagining them with the Coyote versus Acme situation. Heck, imagine the Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse thing if it was doing the Coyote versus Acme situation. It would certainly not go down well because if you remember with the Spider-Man with the animators who said they were not enjoying themselves when animating Spider-Man into Across the Spider-Verse, and how Phil Lord and Chris Miller keep making random decisions even before near completion of the product. Right? They say it was an absolute nightmare to work on the film, and yet the film still turned out to be pretty awesome. Well, be glad this film actually got released. Yes, because if it got the David Zaslav Coyote vs. Acme treatment, this film would have been super hell to deal with. I think it was alright. And as for Beyond the Spider-Verse, I am glad it is being delayed and let things settle better before they continue production on that one. The first and second movies were cool. I like to think Into the Spider-Verse brought Sony back on its feet after the Emoji Movie. Yeah, it did, but not completely. I mean, Now you better start coloring the web head. First, get rid of that thing. I think it's going to take me too long, so I'm going to do a little technique. Just a small technique. Okay. Oops, that cannot come right. There. See, I just have this whole thing colored, and now to add in some extra details on that. There we go, fellas. Spider-Man just doing a very weird pose. Dumbo 2, I mean. Oh yeah, I remember that. At one point, there was supposed to be. I heard Spider-Man got the Oscars, and Annie's hoping wins features at the Oscars. I like Phil and Chris, but given their record, well, let me just go back to that. I feel like they have a few leaky pipes. What are your opinions of Marmaduke, whole versions? I've only seen one. It's terrible. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, let's see. We got let's see. Fiesta's a little tricky because it requires a bit of patterns. Okay, in fact, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is not the only Sony film that is having a bit of had some production problems, but a lot of people praised the film afterwards. And despite the people behind working on it not exactly fond of it. There's also a Sausage Party. It also had a bit of a troubled production, and a lot of animators were not paid well when making it. But it came out great, and it came out fine to some people. Not all of it. I know some folks who were very displeased with the film. In fact, some people said to me that it's one of the worst. So that's all I have to say, really. I haven't seen the film, but I'm not sure if I plan to. I mean, I am aware of its positive reception, but some people have been saying to me, no, don't go see it. It's really awful. No, it's not Carlota. It's that wrestler, a wrestler that Ronnie Yen has been looking up to. Oh, and speaking of which, yes, I am excited to take a look at the Casagrandes movie. It's kind of funny. The Loud House, which was made in 2016, 5 years later, it had a movie available on Netflix. The Casagrandes was made in 2019. 5 years later, it's getting a movie on Netflix. Yeah, Loud House related show having a movie. A Loud House show having a movie in 5 years after their show's premiere. Who would have thought? Makes me wonder if there's going to be a live action, if there's going to be a Netflix movie of the Loud House based on the really Loud House. Not really ideal, but it is a possibility. Yes, Casagrande's ended in 2022, but it didn't stop It didn't stop it from making a slight comeback. I mean, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles also had their show ended, but 2 years later they made a comeback, like as a film. And Rocco's Modern Life started clean, and the show ended many, many, many years ago, but the show managed to come back like many, many years later in a feature-length form. And now, although this is mainly talking Nickelodeon, hopefully someday we might get a feature-length film revival of the Owl House. I mean, again, even though yes, Dina Terrence is still saying that she currently has no plans to revive the show at the moment. She says it's not impossible to. There are still some possibilities. We just have to wait a bit. Let's see, how did I do this again? So I'm just trying to remember how I colored Oh yes, it was like that. Oh yeah, I forgot something. Okay, random, but who wants Kremos to be good? I'm okay. Unlike some people, I actually do think there is a chance that there is a chance for how do I say this? There is a good chance that maybe Primos can be good. Of course, I am aware it did not leave a good first impression, and you know the way it misunderstands the Spanish language. They say it's not Oya, it's Ogon Primos. Did I say it right? And a lot of people are just flat out angry that this was done. I was like, just one gigantic strike and you're out. It's not like strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, you're out. It's just automatically terrible just by that. But for me, I say just wait until the show is out and then judge it. I mean, I didn't. I mean, I can understand if just by the appearance alone, it's not your cup of tea. But sometimes I like to wait before I watch the show. I mean, when I first saw the few episodes, I was actually optimistic to take a look at Haley's on it. But when I saw the first episode, I kind of thought it was a little boring. But I did say I'll keep watching it. Maybe it'll get better. And sure enough, when I did manage to watch Haley, it got better for me, and I found myself very hooked onto Haley, to a point where I'm hoping they'll give it a season 2. If not, give it a grand finale, just like with the Owl House. Have Haley finally kiss Scott. Have all this build-up be worth it. Or if better, have Scott's little sister be the one to kiss Haley. Even though yes, it's mainly supposed to be Haley trying to kiss Scott, but what if it's Primos doesn't look like my cup of tea, to be honest. It looks like a typical cartoon. I can understand, and if you're not interested in it. Well, shook my rattlesnakes. We got ourselves a pose right over here that looks like it's from the West. So who wants to do a little cowboy posing? Bang, bang. Who wants to play as the roughest, toughest He-Man that's ever crossed the Rio Grande? And he ain't no mamby-pamby. I don't think I can do. Sorry, I don't think I can do Rumble at this time. Now, which Toad? Which Toad? Is it J. Thaddeus Toad or the Mushroom Toad? Oh, by the way, fellas, brace yourself. This character is now in the public domain. Wait, I think I'll add the whiskers later because sometimes sometimes I have a little bit of a issue with the. What a very strange creature. Is he gone yet? I'm trying to. I'm sorry. Let me redo that. I don't think I did a very good job on that. Just let's see. It sucks how 2015 was an awful year for both Disney and Hollywood. Iger and Zaslav, a dumb and duller of Hollywood CEOs. For David Zaslav, I totally agree. For Bob Iger, I agree on some levels, but I do think he can. I mean, I sometimes consider I sometimes consider Bob Iger as perhaps our current Michael Eisner. A guy who did do great in his earlier days, but nowadays I think he kind of lost a bit of his sense. In fact, remember the days of Michael Eisner, where during the 70s or 80s, after Walt Disney died. The company of Disney was having trouble keeping up with their company. They were on near bankruptcy. The box office rate of The Black Cauldron did not help matters. In fact, the studio bombed so bad it lost to the Care Bears movie, and they nearly went bankrupt. But thanks to films like The Great Mouse Detective and, of course, the rise of the Disney Renaissance in the late 80s to early 90s, that's when Disney picked themselves back up again. In fact, I have a feeling that Disney might pick themselves back up again sometime in either the late 2020s or in the late 2020s or in the early 2030s, because I don't know if I said this before, but there's a bit of a cycle with Disney whenever they have their ups and downs. In the 1930s, they were super successful with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. In the 1940s, a lot of their believe it or not, a lot of their films were box office bombs in the 1940s. Pinocchio and Fantasia were box office bombs, believe it or not. And because the company was going to a war, and because of World War II happening, Disney had to resort to making package films. They make individual shorts and compile them into a feature-length film, including Saludos Amigos, Three Caballeros, Make My Music, Melody Time, Fun and Fancy Free, and Ichabod and Mr. Toad. It wouldn't be until the 1950s when we got full-length feature films again with Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, and those became massive successes again. In the 1960s, there were still some successes, like with The Jungle Book, but then it was the day when Walt Disney died. And after that, the studio was kind of struggling a bit. With films like Aristocats and Robin Hood, some of them were successful. They weren't as successful as some of Disney's other previous works. And then in the 80s, things were starting to get really rotten for them, with the Black Cauldron bombing and the fact that Jeffrey Katzenberg's involvement was going off the rails and stuff. He decided to Michael Eisner decided to step in and helped make things better at first with the Disney Renaissance, and fire Jeffrey Katzenberg, who would later start his own company with DreamWorks. But then, in the first half of his career at Walt Disney, he did a great job. But in those later years, I don't know what happened. There was something went screwy. He kept having fights with Jeffrey Katzenberg, and a lot of films were bombing again in the 2000s, except for Lilo and Stitch. I mean, films like Treasure Planet, Home on the Range, and Brother Bear, they were flops. And Roy Disney made a campaign saying, "Save Disney." Roy Disney was Walt Disney's nephew, and he was the last living relative of Walt Disney to work at the Walt Disney Company until his death. And then because they decided that 2D animation was no longer profitable, they decided to go to CGI, starting with Disney's Dinosaur and later with Chicken Little. And with the exception of Princess and the Frog and Winnie the Pooh 2011, all their feature films from that day forth were computer animated. And things were going smoothly. In the 2010s, we had a ton of box office records for the 2020s. I mean the 2010s, with Frozen, Zootopia, yes, even the Lion King remake. But now they seem to be on the box office collapse again, not just because of the pandemic of 2020 and 2021, but also because Disney Plus is super accessible. No need to go to cinemas. Anyways, but hopefully they can pick themselves back up, because it's something they are familiar with. Yes, this is nothing new. I'm sure they'll pick themselves up again. Oh yeah, for this part, why don't we do the why doesn't anybody walk the dinosaur? Boom boom laka boom boom. Sorry if I talked a lot. It's just that the talking about Disney and how it's going downhill, and not just Walt Disney but also Warner Brothers. It's very sad. It's very sad to see companies that we know and love be treated so horribly. Hopefully for Disney, this is just a minor. This is just something they can try and fix themselves. As for Warner Brothers, I'm not sure about its future, because since they're in billions of dollars in debt, I have a feeling that maybe in a few years or so it might shut down. Heck, I heard that even the gaming industry is going down on as well. I mean, remember the time we had Microsoft laying off its employees? Well, apparently Sony, who is also laid off its gaming employees as well, including Insomniac Games and Naughty Dog. The same companies who made Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon during the original PlayStation days, also made Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter. They just got laid off as well. And now, just recently, Activision, Toys for Bob, the creators of Skylanders, and the developer of Spyro Reunited Trilogy, Crash Bandicoot 4: It's About Time, and Crash Team Rumble, they're now an independent studio. They officially have left Activision to become independent and with partnerships of Microsoft. Now I wonder what's gonna happen to Crash Team Rumble now, since Toys for Bob is now working from home, and their studios and now the studio is independent. Discovery's content. I'm not sure about the Discovery's content. Yeah, I always find mergers, I can see why some mergers are necessary, but other times, sometimes I do question some mergers. I mean, are these mergers really that beneficial for the company and or the people behind it, or even the products? I mean, I am glad. In some respects, I am glad that 20th Century Studios, or 20th or Fox as it used to be called, has the ability to be it has the ability to be on Disney Plus. That way, I can check out Bob's Burgers and any other show that was airing on Fox on Disney Plus. But I heard other companies, like say they say when Disney started to take over for Warner Brothers, not Warner Brothers, for Star Wars, for Lucasfilm, they say they're starting to milk Star Wars of its creativity. They don't want to do this for creativity like how George Lucas does. They just want it for profit. And they just want nothing but Star Wars content over and over and over and over and over, not giving any chances of a break. Like, don't you think we've had enough Star Wars for a while? We have Mandalorian, and yes, there is that. I haven't seen them. I probably should. It's just taking me a while to do so. Now, who's got this pose? This pose of just. Do you plan to do something for the Transformers 40th anniversary? I'm not sure, since I kind of already done a Transformers request challenge. I'm not sure what else to do for Transformers this year. Whoops, I pressed the wrong button. It's Papa Louie. Who is that? Papa Lou. Okay, that's weird. Okay, let's see. Wait, I have a better idea. Okay, let's see. Are you for real? I'm sorry. Sometimes my mind can sometimes wander off when I'm doing my request stream, so something like that. Sometimes gotta remember, this was made in this live stream I did was made in a bit of a rush. And sometimes some strange ideas can pop in my head, and I'm like, I'll take it. Now, before you ask, fellas, I have only seen one episode of the show on Amazon. I have seen the original pilot, and I have seen the one episode of the show because I don't have access to Amazon anymore. I used to, but had to cut off. Now, unfortunately, we had to save our money on some places. Yes, it'll take me some time before I can gain access to. It'll take me some time before I can gain access to the site again. And yes, fellas, I am aware of that strange music video where this guy was being chased by her. I actually did manage to see it, and a lot of people say, why did that person spend $50,000 on this? This is just weird. This is just so weird. If I have to say something a little bit positive about that controversial video, I will say for a 3-minute video that costs $50,000 to be made, still looks better than cans without labels. Don't worry, fellas. I don't plan to have her in you know what type of clothings. I think it's best that I just have her like. I gotta be respectable to their official attires now. Should I? Don't I? Shouldn't? I don't want to have too many sick pleasures. Or I don't want my sick pleasures to be on the loose.
We've spent $9 on this.
You have a huge point there. I can't stand cans without labels.
We paid $9 for this. I paid 10.
Oh, see. Sorry I'm late. Don't worry. You're just in time. Do you watch the TV show of Halo? I have not. I keep forgetting that a Halo TV show exists. Yes. I mean, I used to play a lot of Halo games I used to play a bit of Halo when I was young. I remember I still have 4 Halo games with me. The third Halo game, Halo Reach, Halo 4, and I think the remaster of the first game. Was it supposed to be 20th or 10th anniversary of the first game? So when I here's a very strange thing. Sometimes a person it's kind of funny that sometimes a music video with your favorite singer based on something you love happens, and then that singer or actor happens to become a part of that show later on. One example is, of course, Weird Al Yankovic. There were a lot of when My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic was made. A lot of people have been making Weird Al music videos out of it, and surely enough, several years later, we actually got Weird Al himself to play a character in My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. And also there's another example. Vivsy Pop, the creator of Has Been Hotel, she once made a music video using the song Die Young by her favorite singer, and of course many years later that singer would later become the voice of that dog bee hybrid character in Hell of a Boss.
Now that you...
Yeah, which Lola? And there's like tons and tons of characters literally named Lola. Better make sure she's properly dressed. Oops, that's not right. You know, sometimes for a show that has a lot of demons and stuff, shows like the Owl House and Has Been Hotel, they sure like to make a lot of these characters super cute, even though their worlds are full of demons and hells. In fact, a lot of women cartoon creators. Okay, not all, definitely not all, but quite a number like to create some shows that animated shows that have depictions of hell, like the Owl House and Hell of a Boss. And sometimes they can freak me out as well, like Hootie with his organs sticking out when he enters the little birdhouse of his. Of course, for me, I tried my dang hardest to be as squeaky clean as much as possible. Unless something really ticks me off, then I have to put out some foul language just to get it to their thick skulls, like the time with my Mortal Kombat situation. But nevertheless, I do try my dang hardest to be as squeaky clean as possible. Here we go, fellas. Charlie in that pose. Okay, number 13 is next. So who does another sort of a snake-like pose? Charlie has different kinds of eyelashes. Okay. I think maybe I'll try and fix Charlie when I'm... Let me just how did they do things, to say, do that, do something, a lot of do's. What is she doing? I wonder, what the heck is she doing? Never expected Amity to do that pose. You mean Amity's sister? Oh, sorry, that's just Then drop the deck and do the and flop like fish, SpongeBob SquarePants. Not to color her in. she makes the have you seen the live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender series? I have not, but I'm not sure if I want to because I'm not necessarily. I'm not sure. I'm not a die-hard Avatar: The Last Airbender fan, and I'm not sure if I because the reception I hear is quite polarizing. Many have say it's definitely better than Shyamalan's take on the film, on the show, but on the franchise, but it's not really saying much if I'm completely honest. Oh wait, I don't think I did the. And some say I have heard there was definitely some backlash over the fact that they changed Sokka's a bit of Sokka's thing, where he used to be a bit of a, how do I say this, a sexist prick. A part of my mouth, but yeah, he used to be like that, but that was kind of part of his character, and it was something for him to learn and grow from over time, thanks to the episode where he meets this warrior girl. I've forgotten her name, but she did a lot of fighting and stuff. And Sokka's like, okay, I want to know how to fight like you guys. I'm not sure what episode that one was. I think it was the one with the giant. Was it giant fish or giant serpent? Let's all agree the series is still light years better than the movie. Oh, that's quite a take. The only thing I really like seeing from the live action remake and the live action movie of Avatar is the Nostalgia Critics review of the film, because I guarantee his review of the movie is a lot funnier than the actual movie itself. Even though the film can unintentionally have some funny moments as well, it just fails to be taken seriously. Maybe I should have had this one be number 8 instead of the previous one. Wild cactus juice. You're talking Rango, right? Cactus juice, that's what we have. Sand. How can you do... Ooh, that one looks... Which Ed? I know a lot of characters named Ed. There's Ed from Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Sometimes I wonder, is there a charm to the Stickman drawing? Because I often see some people satirize Stickman. I mean, I remember a time there was a Flash animation video where they poke fun of the Stickman thing, where this guy goes, "Hi," where they have a Sonic the Hedgehog as a Stickman, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, and the reason why I'm a Stickman is says the guy just can't draw, and I'm also way out of character." It was part of a series of Newgrounds animations called Life in the Portal, made by Sammination, and who I used to know for making Taco Man and Life in the Portal series, which was one of my and like Ed's World, he was one of my one of my other inspirations to making Newgrounds animations. Let's see, who's walking like an Egyptian, guys? Who's walking like an Egyptian? Ooh, that sounds good. Believe it or not, fellas, we're halfway there. Wait, well, let me see if I got any. What are your opinions on the Philippine Studios games? I have not played. I have not seen or played any of them, so I'm not sure. So I'm not sure how to react to that. Let me know if they can do my request. And which one was that?
There we go, fellas. We got a little sprig over here. Don't walking like an Egyptian.
I know there were crocodile god. There was a crocodile person. There was a wolf person named Anubis. There was even a bird person. Heck, there was even a cat person. You know, a lot of the Egyptians do have a lot of gods who are animal based. Not all. There are some that are pure human-like. Anubis is a jackal. Sorry, that's my bad. Let's see here. Ancient Egypt. Bum 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 bum. Dun 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 dun. Was that the right music? Oops, I forgot to give him some pants. Oh dear, can you imagine a frog without pants? That'd be absurd. This is a kids show for frog's sake. I said frog.
There you go, fellas. We got ourselves Sprig over here.
Oh, somebody's shrieking like a cat, or just doing an animal, four-legged animal pose. Who do you think it should be? Sorry about the ads, fellas. Like I said, I'm still a bit behind on the Patreon streams commissions. So before I can activate the super chats again, I have to resort to these ads. Let's see. Just going. No, can just roll right one. No, that's not right. I wonder what he's shrieking about. Yeah, there's normally it actually wouldn't be out of place for Ed to be it wouldn't actually be out of place for Ed to be acting a bit like a cat, because he has acted like other animals before, like look, I am a moose. There's even one point when I think he was a hamster. That's it. Then there was even one episode when no, I think I prefer this yellow. There was even one episode when he was supposed to be hey, good to see you again. Nice to see you too. Movie, good for it. Yeah, he even acted like a monster in The Day the Earth Stood Still, a little Godzilla-ish with a bit of a kraken and. So I thought I heard something. And
And I think I am just about done. Here is Ed shrieking in terror. Actually, let me just have in a little help. Okay, what's next? Ooh, this guy's upside down. I'm not sure how I can have him upside down. Let's see, who can... he seems like he seems like a fine guy. Okay, before I have the guy upside down, I must first draw his head this way. I mean, while it is true that Adobe Photoshop does allow you to draw, does allow you to rotate the drawing, so you can get better angles of how the drawing is supposed to be like. For Flash, on the other hand, at least the version I'm using, probably not so much. You have to you have to rotate it separately. Ironically, I'm watching a Bob's Burgers compilation of Gene while watching this. I immediately, like I said before, I think I've said this before, the reason why I got into Bob's Burgers in the first place, sorry, I'm having trouble finding out how to, the reason why I got into Bob's Burgers in the first place was because when the movie was being made, I thought to myself, I think I best check a look at the show before I get myself into the movie. Because I hear a lot of people really like the movie, and I'm like, oh, it must be. I better watch the show to see if it's faithful to the show. I mean, I watched a good chunk. I didn't watch all the Simpsons episodes, but back in 2007. But I did see a good chunk of them. It was enough to give me an idea for what the Simpsons was all about. And I also played a ton of Simpsons games to be familiar with the characters, like Road Rage gives you the ability to play as 18 characters. You get to play as Krusty the family, like Homer Simpson, Marge Simpson, Lisa, Bart, even Grandpa. And then you also get to play as the others, like Krusty the Clown, Chief Wiggum, Groundskeeper Willie, and even that Mo and there's actually another playable version of Homer, believe it or not. He's like, "Now, Mr. Plow," trying to drive Mr. Plow. That's how I was able to get familiar with the characters. Before and it was enough for me to remember which character is which. But for Bob's Burgers, I had to watch the show. I had to watch the Bob's Burgers TV show before I should get into the movie. There we go. We have Gene Belcher and trying to do the head on first. I see. Okay, who's acting like a gorilla? Who's acting like a gorilla? Ooh, Now, some of you are probably wondering if I should go back to doing just a regular live stream, as in no more animation based. Just have it plain. Just have it plain requests, still images. Never mind if it's an animation. Have it posted on DeviantArt or something. Personally, Rhino is my anger. Huh. Which Skylander do you think would represent the inside-out emotions perfectly? I know Rhino would definitely go with anger. And I know I'm not sure Trigger Happy should be joy, because his happiness is a different type of happiness. I don't know if there are any Skylanders who are sad. I could say Cinder, since she had a bit of a miserable experience being with her dad and all, and terrorizing all of Skylands, and once the curse was lifted, but Okay, and who over here is doing one of 3 of Garfield's favorite poses: the sleeping giant, the fallen tree, the corpse. Have you seen Oliver and Company? Why should you worry if I haven't seen it? I have seen it. And that song will never leave my head. Oh, good choice. I don't know if I can include Bubbles because she'd be floating. Well, let's see. What was I doing again? Yeah. And speaking of Inside Out, ultimately I have decided that Inside Out would be my most favorite film of 2015 because it's super colorful, super imaginative, and I really do like the jokes they tell and the imagination that goes along with it. But admittedly, Peanuts came super close. The Peanuts movie came extremely close. I was almost considering Peanuts to be my most favorite film of 2015. I just like Inside Out, but microscopically better. Once my countdown is over, not only will I digitalize the painting, I will the drawings. I'll also be doing the. I'm trying to remember. I'll also be doing some honorable mentions, like one of my close calls. So I'm just looking up a little bit of something. Get to it in. Yeah, I just wondered if Star Butterfly has ever witnessed a I wonder if Muni has any leap years, or even the Boiling Isles. Yeah, are there time zones a little different are there time zones a bit different from Earth? I mean, according to Star Butterfly in a live stream, there is they say, according to Star Butterfly, the time zones are a bit different. They say it's corn o'clock on Muni. Sometimes I miss the days of in the middle days of Star versus the Forces of Evil, where they had this little live stream where the characters and the actors who still play the characters play the characters responding to a variety of different questions, like let me stretch the body a little bit more. He's gotten really stretched out, almost like that painting of his, almost like the days when he had to be trapped within a painting. Some people prefer the earlier days of Star when it was a bit more bouncy. Like there's almost always tons of movement happening with Star and Marco and everybody, especially in something like Monster Arm and the Mubity episode. But in the later episodes, everything starts to be a bit more down to earth. And the characters are a little bit slower than before, as in things are taking a bit more seriously. What started off as pretty much a parody of the magical anime, magic girl anime genre of anime became more or less an Americanized take on it. Let's see here. Oops, I think I forgot something. I forgot a little important detail. Imagine so I'm just remembering that so many times I laughed with so many times I laughed with the Star Verses. They just they just bring me back some good memory. There we go. He's all in a circle. Okay, fellas, we've only got about 8 more to go. So who's doing the ballerina pose? Who's doing the ballerina pose? I'm not sure. He floats. He all floats. I think I've done a bit too much Loud House for today. Maybe one day I'll probably do a Gravity Falls themed live stream. I might need to keep rewatching Gravity Falls before I can get the hang of it, but I am familiar with its characters, and I do own a couple of books of Gravity Falls. One of which is the third book, the book journal, the one with the extra cryptics, and I also got the Lost Legends, which is the supposed season 3 of Gravity Falls. And there was one moment when Maple and Dipper, and even I think Pacifica enter a strange demonish realm, and there was a wanted poster of a woman with pointy ears and a very big hair. And it looks a lot like a witch from a show that was made by a person who also used to work for Gravity Falls. And she even asked the creator of the show, or the creator of Gravity Falls, to be the voice of at least two of the characters. One who's like an owl with a tube, and another who kind of looks like a little Cubone. For some reason, I decided to put her in in this suit for some reason because it complements with the ballerina thing. I don't know why. If there's anything I want from Gravity Falls, it's that one of Mabel's stuffed toys, which is which is a rhino. Use it to save. She uses it to save herself from. I think it was a bug or something. There was a time when Gravity Falls had those shorts, and she used. She's like, save me, Mr. Rhino! Douche, douche, douche. um. And let's not forget those little. Can't forget the little. Hard. Now, can I ask you, fellas, when you think of her voice actress, when you think of Mabel's voice actress, who pops in your head the most? Do you think of Mabel, or do you think of Louise Belcher from Bob's Burgers, who was one of the main characters? Or do you think of her other roles more like Sarah Lynn from BoJack Horseman, or Trixie from Toy Story 3? Imagine Louise Belcher meeting Dark Spyro. Oh, I get it. It's because Jason Ritter, who used to play Dipper, later became Dark Spyro. There we go, fellas. We have Mabel Pines from Gravity Falls doing the ballerina. Who's grabbing the legs from the behind the back? And Gee, why would he do this? He can fly, can't he? Nephew! Okay, admittedly, this is a little awkward. And let me try that again. Let me see. Why is he doing that? Why is he in pain or something? Now, it's kind of a little sad that he did not reprise his role in the Once Upon a Studio short because he passed away before he could record any lines, and it would have been nice to hear him voice the character one last time. At least he got to voice Digit one last time before his passing. And he got released afterwards. And one of his last roles being Gilbert, being a random character in the Mortal Kombat movie Johnny Cage Match. May Gilbert rest in peace. Somebody call an exorcist! Oh, looks like this character is being possessed by a demon. Oops, I selected the wrong button. I don't think I can do the Beast Wars because again, the Transformers take a bit of time for me to do. So let me just have you see, some say and by the way, fellas, I heard the Fairly Odd Parents is making a return. Oh dear. It's I keep thinking to myself, do we really need to see those? Do we really need to see those fairies make more wishes, can make a comeback? Good Lord, Fairly Odd Parents is never gonna die. I'm not sure if Butch Hartman is involved. But but I am aware that Cosmo and Wanda's voice actors, they are definitely coming back. But seriously, does this franchise need to come back? I bet most people are. I can see more people demanding for Danny Phantom than I see a Fairly Odd Parents revival. In fact, I wouldn't mind a Danny Phantom comeback with. I wouldn't mind a Danny Phantom comeback with a bit of as a movie, as a TV movie, maybe on Netflix or on, and not live action, not like the Fairly Odd Parents, a Fairly Odd Summer or other times Fairly Odd Parents tried to go more something like Wishology or the Fairly Odd Parents musical or Channel Chasers. Just again, do we really need more Fairly Odd Parents? Yes, why not a Danny Phantom movie or second series instead? Because I hear some people want a better finale than, say, Phantom Planet. There we go, fellas. It seems Sam Manson is being possessed. Only 5 more to go. Now, here's something that's like a real superhero, or about to do the Falcon Punch. Or da da ba ba da. Just gotta make sure she And some people also want My Life as a Teenage Robot revival because some say the finale was a bit underwhelming, like it was on a bit of a cliffhanger. But I think the reason why they haven't done so is because of the one of the voice actors, the voice actress for the villain, was it Phoenix or Venus or something like that? The villain that starts with the letter V, the one who was voiced by Eartha Kitt. She unfortunately passed away. Back in Christmas 2008. And her voice is kind of iconic. You know the type of a cat-like voice. Yes. The same type of voice used for Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove. She was also Catwoman She was also Catwoman in the DC in the Adam West Batman show. She was also nicknamed the most dangerous woman in America at the time. It's such a great sad tomorrow, so such a departure of our beloved prince. Now, which prince? Let me try that again. And she's not doing her jetpack. If she was, she probably would be cheating in this bouncing place. You see, now we have okay. Okay. Some say that some say it's when Nickelodeon includes video games with the crossover characters, and they say it's great that they got some of the voice actors who to return as those characters. They say it's a bit of a delight that they can still play those characters like they used to last time. Although I will say some of them may be a bit out of practice. Like at one point I was playing Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3, which they got Carolyn Lawrence, the voice of Sandy, and she was also the original voice of what was it again? What was her name again? Cindy Vortex, to back from Jimmy Neutron. When I hear her trying to voice in Nick Kart Racers 3, it sounds like she's really out of practice. Like she forgotten how to play Cindy Vortex, and all I'm really hearing is her usual Sandy Cheeks role. But with something like Jenny Wakeman, the original voice actress for Jenny Wakeman, it's still like I like how I remember it. She still got it. Even the voice actors of the '80s Ninja Turtles who reprised their role in the Nickelodeon games, they still got it after so many years. There we go. We have XJ9, aka Jenny. Yeah, somebody's just doing the. I have no idea what that person's doing. I'm at the. Ooh! Oh, that's great! You actually managed to meet Townsend Coleman, Cam Clark, Rob Paulson, and Barry Gordon. Cowabunga, dudes! What's I say? Okay. Actually, no, I'll just I have, if in case you're wondering, fellas, no, I have yet to take a look at the. I have yet to take a look at. Actually, what? I wonder how much teeth has Finn lost. So one of the important rules on how to draw Adventure Time is to make sure the character's limbs are always curvy and then Not exactly any sharp. Basically, don't add in too many sharp edges. Yes. Yeah, I've been reading some guides on how to draw the Adventure Time style, even though they looked super easy. Yeah, sometimes I wonder. There was a time when Cartoon Network shows used to be rated TVY7. Now almost every single one of them is rated PG with TV PG, which was the old Simpsons rating. The Simpsons used to be rated TV PG. Some of them are still are, but they're now leaning more towards TV 14. While something like Adventure Time, Steven Universe, regular show, and yes, fellas, even Teen Titans Go had the PG-13 rating. I mean, just PG rating. That's what I meant to say. And even a ton of shows, a ton of movies nowadays have the PG rating, especially Home on the Range. And the only reason why it's PG rated is because of the stop staring at my others joke. Well, something like Hunchback of Notre Dame, which has the depictions of hell, and the point where Judge Claude Frollo was smelling Esmeralda's hair. That's a G rating or universal rating. There we go, fellas. We have Finn the Human. Now this one's a big one. This one just requires one gigantic picture. Is the guy up close to the camera, or is this person a giant? Which one is it? Is it a person up close, or is it a giant? Let's see. I might need to shrink her a little. Well, maybe I don't have to. Maybe I can just have... I don't know. Let me see how well it turns out in the end. Afterwards, only 3 more to go, and then we're done. Let me just see. Yeah, I think I need to drag it a little bit. Okay, now this one is a double one. I just realized that this one is like two people doing the same pose at the same time. It can be the same people. It can be the same people in duplicates, or it can just be two people just doing the same pose. Which one is it, fellas? Which one is it? I think I might have to Yes, that's only one. That's only one, but I need two. I need two. And I need oh, let's see. These two. Yeah, that's Sasha is one character, but I need two. I need two extra characters. I think this will have to do. Sorry, just that was a bit of a cough. Sorry about that. We should be done in about 9 minutes, I think, or maybe a little bit longer. But yeah, first, before I do that pose, I need to flip the, I just need to flip, oops, and that's not right. Oh, I forgot. Does anyone have any questions? So I said this before, but I thought this flip was fun, especially who played Tabby. Okay. Wait, was I supposed to include that little, And afterwards, I'm gonna flip him upside down. There we go, fellas. Now to flip. There we go. Oh no, this ain't right. There we go. You see, we just got I made an incline and sent it to direct space. Please do not ignore. Okay, let me vote. Okay. I'm sorry. I'll be right back, fellas. Let me just take a little. Sorry, my old is undergoing an important issue. Do you even noticed? Okay. What just happened? What just happened? Sorry, it's been. Okay, while I'm waiting for a response, I'll okay. Got now this one here is just standing still. It's just absolutely still. This is just the normal standing still pose. Anybody from I think like a Tazy is a little complicated. I think I'll have to give that one a bit of a miss. Now, admittingly, here's a little backstory. I was supposed to do this. This leap year live stream was originally supposed to be a room. It was originally supposed to be room themed, as in many different rooms, like 20, like a room, like a hotel room with 29 floors, and we keep go. And this character I created, who is a frog, she keeps because the elevator wasn't working. She keeps leaping upwards, and she keeps breaking through. She keeps breaking through the rooms through the spice by going up the ceiling, and she comes across many different rooms. Like the arcade room, the plant room, and other rooms. And there's even a room where for some reason there's an elephant in it, and the elephant then says, "Go on, address the overused pun, won't you?" Now, I wanted to do that, but unfortunately something in real life happened. Something in real life happened, which I won't say until I finish, within a few days. I won't say what it is, but within a few days I'll probably reveal to you all what it is. Or there's a little animation I've made based on that little specific event. So, here's Dr. Neocortex. He's just standing there, just doing nothing. Okay, fellas, we got one more, and this one, it's all over the place. I mean, look at this. Look, there's a head here. Let me just label that one for a minute. There's a head here, an arm there, an arm with a hand there, a neck, the torso, the left feet. It's all over the place. I wonder who this belongs to.
Hey, don't worry, fellas. She's super cartoony, and she also comes from a world where there's a lot of witches and demons about. No, really, there are some creatures there that are also witches and demons. And despite the fact that she's a regular squirrel, and she's best friends with a regular bunny, and she's also, and for some reason, there's also a rhino that has a unicorn's horn. Kind of like that thing of which another character from another show, which is on Netflix, is wearing a rhino. In fact, I don't know why, but it always brings me a bit of joy whenever somebody uses a rhino to merge with a unicorn. And that always brings me a lot of joy for some reason. And Kif is not the only one to do so. There's a show called Street Girls or Harvey Girls Forever, where the girls are a fan of this show called which is basically unicorns. Like they have a tiger unicorn and a narwhal unicorn and just a regular unicorn, and they come across this convention where this woman with a very strange accent, she dresses up as a rhino unicorn. It's not Centaur World, but it's called Oh, and one more thing. There's because this character has a tail, I better include this as well. And that's about it, fellas. And Now to take a look at the final results, because, ladies and gentlemen, this is another little preview movie. So let's take a test at this. Hey there, young dragon! Good to see you again! Nice to see you again, Mr. Lee Pardo. And just in time, we're about to celebrate my 29th birthday! 29, eh? What was he smoking? Get it? 'Cause he's a dragon, and dragons...
Permission to punch Trig in the face.
Permission granted, but only when we get back home.
Hard to believe I was born on February 29th, aka a leap year. That means we age slower than others. I'm still a young lad.
Actually, if you're born on February 29th, it doesn't mean you...
That's what the others say to me and tell me I'm actually 116. But I'm going to prove them wrong. Follow me! You see this old trampoline? I had it since I was a teenager in the Olympics.
Which year was that?
I'm not sure which specific one, but I was definitely a world-class champion during the trampoline event. I was a champion for pulling off the most poses in one jump, and I was born without wings. All the other contestants back then couldn't even pull off 2 poses in one jump. I bet none of you young'uns can pull a stunt like that without your wings or jetpack. Now watch a pro at work.
Ouch. Now that's what I call a leap of faith.
Oh, for spark's sake, Trig.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
The end. So that's it, fellas. That's the end of the live stream. And let me do few little edits, and then I'll post it, and I'll post the full thing. Thank you for joining me, and it's getting late. I should probably be in bed by now. Thank you for watching me. I'll see you all next time. I hope you enjoyed